What's going on, guys? So in this video I'm gonna talk to you guys about why I completely got rid of all my gear, my Lumix GH5, my Canon EOS R, everything, just to completely transition only to Sony ecosystem. Let's check it out.
Whoa. Hi. Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Sí, señor. Sí, señor.
So one of the reasons why when I had to transition with Sony gear is because, well, let's just face it, how Canon's been lacking for the past few years is not being able to deliver a camera system that is still portable enough to carry around without draining any battery usage and being able to shoot at 4K 120 frames per second at 10-bit 422. That's just sweet stuff for me, Sony. Great job. And when I say I completely transitioned, I mean I completely transitioned. So aside from using the Sony a7 and a3 that we're using to film this video, we have a bag here as well that carries two more gears, and I like to call this the Trifecta package. I also decided to get the Sony a7C along with the 24x105 f4 lens, just to keep it, you know, with that focal range from portrait all the way down to also as well zoom. I think with this setup right here, I know there's three lenses that Sony just made, 24, 40, and 50 millimeters. The G lenses actually that are meant mostly for the Sony a7C, but I think just getting the 24x105 just completely eliminates all those lenses, and you're still able to also get magnification of, you know, whatever time, 2 times, just to keep it there with the clarity of, without ruining or losing any megapixels with the camera, to get reaches of even 200 millimeter. I mean, for what I use it for, I'm happy with this setup right here. Just taking photos if I'm on the go and I see something nice. I don't have to whip out multiple lenses and keep the payload of the gear that I'm carrying for the day very light. I think it makes very sense just to get along the 24x105. That's just my opinion. And lastly, I went to get also as well the most portable camera that you can probably get if you're going out and about, running and gunning with your day, which is filming whatever you want to film. Keep it light, keep it in your pocket probably, perhaps. It's the Sony ZV-1. You can't go wrong with this guy right here. You got the flippy screen right here. With the Sony ZV-1, you get features like product showcase. Focus. Focus, look at that. Oh, you want to get a Sony a7C? Oh, look at that. It works. And if you want to vlog about going on your day, doing whatever you want to do, and then you want to keep things light, again, ZV-1 right here. It just makes sense getting all three of these devices if you're deciding to just completely transition to Sony. Look at that eye autofocus, even with my eyeglasses tinting like a sick pervert that I am right now. So one of the other reasons why I went ahead to switch off to using only Sony gears is because, well, I've been using Canon for the longest of time, and I think, to me, I like the change always as well of being allowed to go out there from your comfort zone and try something completely different and new of a toy and complete whole new gear. You know, it's been Canon pretty much for well past over a decade, and it's not that I'm getting bored with it, but I love Canon's color science. They have great color science. I think Sony's a little too much with the saturation, and the sharpness is great. You can always tweak that out in their settings or even post at it, whatever you want to do. But I've always been Canon. And I sold it all. I sold my GH5 also as well. I sold a Canon EOS R again, and I sold a few couple lenses all along with those guys, everything. And I went ahead, first got the a7S III, then got the a7C. Well, had the ZV-1 in the middle of that all, but I think this is, hang on. I think these three right here, including the a7S III that I'm using to record this with, is the perfect trifecta of cameras to bring along into your camera bag. It makes sense. You want to take some quick photos, a7C. You want to do a little filming, a7S III. You're out and about, just in a tight little squeezy place in Chinatown trying to vlog yourself, ZV-1. But if you can get these cameras and you got money to blow, or you got gear out there that you think you can just, you know, trade away with, spend, and invest into something that is going to be highly still regarded, maybe in the still coming year or two in the market of cameras, I think Sony right now is still top for most videography and photography users out there. I think still today in 2022, the a7S III, the ZV-1, a7C, they still hold their purpose even in a market like today, whereas many other competitors are still trying to play catch up, or maybe trying a little bit too hard with certain things that are underperforming or having a little bug issues, or not overall being able to deliver the same package that Sony is able to do right now. That's just my opinion. And with the Sony a7C with the 24-105 f4 lens matched, the lens and the camera both have their stabilization turned on. It makes sense also just to use this just to go out there with a run and gun setup. You got your own little 24mm for vlogging usage, and if you wanted to, you can go flip it out over here and check out things that are happening out about and zoom all the way in. Look at that. So one of the great benefits, I think, of all just being able to expand and diversify and keep testing one's unique ability to keep performing under new changes of technology, and being able to as well gather knowledge and create a whole new method of style of creativity. I think that's like the biggest thing as an artist, or even someone who loves to expand with their own creativity. I think that is my suggestion, at least for you guys, to go out there and, you know, try new things. It wouldn't hurt. So what are my final thoughts with the whole transitioning of Canon to Sony? I don't regret making such a move. I think it's the right thing to do. I think Sony right now, where they're heading towards to with the market for both photography and videography, I think they're doing the right steps to get the right customers. You go from the Sony a7C compact full frame camera. I mean, that still has great autofocus system. It still got 4K. It still has in-body image stabilization. It complements everything from what Sony is trying to gather for the customers. Whereas Canon, I think right now with how Canon is, they're lacking on a lot of things right now. That overheating symptom that the R5 produces when you're shooting 4K, even with 24 frames per second for a good duration, doesn't really do justice paying what, anywhere from $4,000, $3,500, $4,000, I don't know exactly. But the Sony a7S III will deliver great night video footage out of the box. I mean, crazy ISO numbers going here at 6-figure plus, and there's a little bit of grain there even past 12,800, but it's still very usable, you know, even when you go post edit. But my God, man, I think anyone out there with the right mindset of comparing apples for apples, lemons for lemons for both Sony and Canon, I think it's a no-brainer that Sony wins under most department for features, spec for spec, and to offer unlimited 4K recording. I think that's a win also as well. And when you go with the ZV-1, again, something as compact in the palm of your hand that you could just grab and go and put in your pocket and be discreet out there in the open, doing your thing, I think that also wins as well in my book. I mean, for example, the ZV-1, portable, small, it serves its purpose. It's not obnoxiously huge, like you're out on a commercial shoot or something, and it's one of those that you just want to take along with you and not be seen too much in the open without being the one out there with the camera pointing at people and like, oh my god, he's videoing me. And yeah, you don't want any of those people. Where Sony's heading to right now with the direction of producing and manufacturing all these great cameras, and even as well to match it up with lenses of their own, I think they're really hitting the right specific consumers regarding those things, because they're able to diversify even in a time right now where there's a whole global recession and supply chain issues. And I know this, I think the Sony a7S III is becoming limited also as well to being, you know, produced with the X amount of products that us consumers are only able to acquire. But where you're buying, you know, used hand for both the Sony a7S III, that's a7C, and the ZV-1. The ZV-1, you can get this probably anywhere from the $500, $650 price range used in the market. a7S III, you could probably get that anywhere from the $2,900 up to $3,500 still. Yes, $3,500 for used. The a7C, you can get that anywhere from the lows of, you know, 1300s to even as still high, even in the 1600s price range for used. But in conclusion, you guys do whatever you guys want to do. At the end of the day, it always comes down to the user and what they're able to create, imagine, produce. It doesn't matter about the gear. It always matters about what you're targeting specifically for. And hey, if you're novice, you're a pro, you're an expert, it don't matter, right? Oh god, that sound right there, man. It doesn't matter what kind of gear ultimately you want to use, but as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters. Create, always enjoy what you're doing. Have no fear. Pip is here. Always try to reinvent yourself, and ultimately, there is no right or wrong answer. It's always going to be, at the end of the day, to question, are you having fun with what you're doing? Are you enjoying yourself with what you're doing? And don't care about anyone else's judgment. All right, guys, that's all I got for this video. If you guys like this, you know, and you're new to this channel, I would really appreciate if you guys subscribe, just to build it up a little bit more, you know. So I'll see you guys next time.